Hello everyone, it's SpawnPoiint and autumn is just around the corner, the nights are getting longer and we are back with another top new games to play, which are all releasing in September. And let me tell you what a month it is going to be. I think this could be my favourite month so far in 2024. So whether you're on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PC or Switch, drop a comment below telling me what games you were looking forward to, and we're just going to jump straight in. And we're kicking today's video off with this little guy. Now you'll know this already, but when the PS5 first launched we got Astro's Playroom pre-installed on the console, and it kind of acted like a glorified tech demo where you could complete the short game and test out the DualSense features. You know, things like the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback. Well, it turned out that a lot of us really liked that game, so much so that they've gone ahead and made a full-blown game, this time simply called Astro Bot. You'll once again control Astro, a cute little robot, as you jump, fly and bounce your way around the levels. And this doesn't just have 5 levels or even 25 levels. Astro Bot will have over 80 levels split across 6 galaxies and 50 planets. So this isn't just a short demo that you'll smash out in a couple of hours, as you'll have rescue missions, boss fights and over 300 bots that you can rescue and recruit. Visually it looks very similar to Astro Playroom, which is great, and they've taken what we love from that game and expanded on it here. Oh, and there's even going to be over 150 VIP bots in the game, with characters like Kratos, Ratchet, Aloy, Nathan Drake and Crash Bandicoot. So it feels more than just a game, it's like a huge nod to everything PlayStation, including hardware and games. I am pretty hyped to play this, and it's coming to the PS5 on September 6th, along with a new limited edition controller if you were lucky enough to pre-order one. Okay, so hear me out for a second, as I nearly skipped over this game when it was first announced, and then I watched the trailer and some gameplay and it's now actually on my wish list for September. So Funko Fusion takes more than 60 of those pop figures that so many of us have collected, and they've created this story-driven third-person game, and it looks absolutely nuts. We're talking TV shows, movies, games and comic characters, including Hot Fuzz, Back to the Future, Jurassic Park and The Walking Dead. But the story isn't just set in a random world either. It'll take you through iconic worlds and sets that we all recognise, like this one here from Back to the Future, or Five Nights at Freddy's. It's kind of giving me Lego vibes, especially with the humour, but with lots and lots of blood. It's actually rated a PEGI 16 as well, so although it looks like a kid's game, it really isn't. So Funko Fusion drops on September 13th on the PS5, Xbox Series and PC. And until then, let's go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint and wait for all of this to blow over. And a game you probably didn't expect to see in today's list is the Plucky Squire. I stumbled across this during my research last week and the trailer alone won me over. You play as Jot in this action-adventure game, where you've been kicked out of your storybook and have to explore the outside world. It's vibrant, fun, and something totally different to any other game that we've had this year. It's also a clever mix of 2D and 3D gameplay, as you play in both the main storybook in a top-down view, and you can jump out of the book into the outside world in 3D. It's got puzzles, a jetpack, and boxing badges, as well as loads of minigames. I would say it almost feels like a nice mix between Zelda 2D and something like Toy Story or It Takes Two, and I especially liked the art style. It's actually a shame it's only a one-player game, as this would have made the perfect couch co-op game to play. So if you fancy something different this month, the Plucky Squire launches on PS5, Xbox Series, PC and Switch on September 17th. Also, it's coming to PS Plus Extra and Premium at launch, so if you're already subscribed, that's a nice little bonus for you. Right, then we have one of my personal favourites in September, and that's Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. I put a ridiculous amount of time into the 2006 game on the Xbox 360, so to finally get a new and updated version this month is just awesome. This time it's set in Hong Kong but has a bit of a futuristic vibe going on, and like with the previous games, it's going to be cheesy, so don't expect too much of a serious game from this. But it is absolutely jam-packed with cars including Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Ferrari and of course BMW, all of which you can buy, own and race freely around the huge open world map. And talking about the open map, this isn't just based in Hong Kong, this is a true scale of the Hong Kong island, which is pretty cool. There will also be 340 miles of drivable roads. Now, during the main story, you'll need to pick a clan, either the Street or Sharp crew. Sharps are business-minded and all about luxury, while the Streets are bold and have more of an aggressive mentality. Now, unlike the last two Test Drive Unlimited games, you will not be able to buy houses in the game, or at least at launch anyway. So that's a shame, but hopefully it's something that we will see added later on. So for you driving fans out there, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown is coming to the PS5, Xbox Series and PC on September 12th. Right, so probably one of my favourite zombie games of all time is this game, Dead Rising, that launched back in 2006. I remember playing this on the 360 as well, and it was ridiculously fun and gory. Well, 18 years on, Capcom have decided to remaster it, and of all the remakes and remasters that we've had this year, this is the one that I'm really hyped for. It's got the same great story, characters, weapons, and of course zombies, but it's had a complete overhaul, not just in the visuals either, but with the mechanics as well. So this game literally looks and plays like a new game. So you once again play as Frank West on a mission to investigate the mall, which has been invaded by zombies, and you have got 72 hours to complete various case files before being rescued. You can hack and slash your way through the mall using pretty much anything you can get your hands on. Chainsaws, guns, and even mannequin body parts. And with this new remaster, they've also added loads of quality of life updates. Things like being able to move around while aiming, shaking zombies off if they grab you, and a durability meter for all of your weapons. And the gore has definitely been increased as well, so be prepared for that. So yeah, after nearly 18 years, we get a Dead Rising remaster coming to the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series and PC, and that's going to drop on September 19th. Now I'm going to start by saying that I've never played a Warhammer game. I know, crazy right? But they've just never really grabbed me. Well, that was until I saw the trailer for the upcoming Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. It's been about 13 years since the last one, and it's safe to say this one looks awesome. Firstly, you do not need to have played the previous game, so you will be able to jump straight into this one, which is great for me. It's a third-person shooter game, and it's a direct sequel to the 2011 game, which is set 100 years after those events. You play as Captain Titus, a member of the Ultramarines, tasked with fighting and eliminating the aliens who are ever evolving and becoming more lethal. You'll be able to use various melee and ranged combats, and of course you've got your super armoured suit. But nothing will prepare you for the swarms of Tyranids as they head towards you, and this looks absolutely nuts. And also the visuals of this game look incredible, and although you play the main story and campaign as Titus, there's also the option to play co-op with up to 2 other friends, or you can jump into the PvP or PvE modes with your own custom character, so that's pretty cool. I would say if you've ever played a Gears of War game and you enjoyed that, you'll like this one as well. So Space Marine 2 drops on September 9th, and to take full advantage of the current gen gaming, is only coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series and PC. And we are getting the first ever expansion for Starfield in September, titled Shattered Space. This takes the single-player RPG that was released last year and adds new features, a new area to discover, and a new storyline. But it's not just new quests, as the new expansion adds new vibrancy to the game as well, and it has been said that the overall style is going to be a little bit more mysterious with a hint of horror. So Tim Lamb, who's the lead creative producer, said they've added things like new ship customization, as well as new tools and gadgets that will interact with the environment even better than before. It also sounds like they've spent more time focusing on the new area design and experience as opposed to just making it massive. As I quote, "We focus on making sure that every corner of this new area feels alive and has something for players to discover. And hopefully this means less aimlessly walking around with no points of interest." Oh, and there's going to be the first ever land vehicle in the game as well, which is called the Rover. And this is going to be free for all players, not just those that go for the DLC. So Starfield Shattered Space will be out on September 30th on Xbox Series and PC. But with all of the Xbox games coming to PlayStation recently, I wonder how long it'll be before we see Starfield on the PlayStation 5. And if you're in the mood to get your heart pounding, the casting of Frank Stone is dropping on September 3rd, and this looks scary as. It's a narrative-driven horror game based on the Dead by Daylight world, where we're heading to Cedar Hills. It's actually in collaboration with Supermassive Games, you know, the devs behind Until Dawn and the Dark Pictures anthology, so it's going to be pretty epic. Throughout the game you'll play as a young group of friends exploring and stumbling your way around the town, trying to uncover what went on here. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? It's set in 1980, and from the trailer and early gameplay that we've seen, this looks like a cinematic nightmare. And the fact it's from Supermassive Games, I've got high hopes for it being really good and a great single player story. And as you would expect, it's going to be horrifying as well. Also throughout the game, every decision you make will impact the outcome of the story, whether life or death, and will essentially unlock new paths as you go. There's even a couch co-op mode where you'll be able to pass the controller with up to 4 other friends. So the casting of Frank Stone is dropping on September 3rd, and that's coming to the PS5, Xbox Series and PC. And here's one for the Harry Potter fans out there. If you ever fancied playing Quidditch, well, we're getting a dedicated game just for that. You'll get to ride the broom around the various different sets, shoulder barging opponents, all while trying to score points in these hoops. It's primarily going to be an online game where you can team up with various 6v6 modes. However, there is also a campaign mode as well, where you can tweak your own custom character and progress through the main story. It would have been great if this was a DLC for Hogwarts Legacy. By the way, it looks like a fun game to play, especially if you've got some friends to jump online with as well. So yeah, if you fancy a Rocket League type game but on brooms, well, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions is coming to PlayStation, Xbox and PC on September 3rd. And if you've got PS Plus already, it's coming to that on day one at no extra cost, so make sure you add that game to your library. And we are getting another Legend of Zelda game this month titled Echoes of Wisdom. This time we are controlling Princess Zelda as you explore the land and try to save her kingdom. Straight off the bat though, this game looks like the 2019 remake of Link's Awakening, so it looks stunning. Now from the gameplay that we've seen, you'll get to team up with a mysterious fairy who will teach you how to use echoes to imitate objects and monsters, using her tri-rod. I'll be honest, I was kind of expecting us to have a sword and a shield like we get with Link, but you know what, this looks distinctively different from Link, and gives Zelda her own identity in her own game, so I like that a lot. Now this isn't actually the first time we get to play as Zelda as the main playable character, as you could play her back in the 90s on one of these, but we don't really talk about those games. So The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom launches on the Nintendo Switch on September 26th. And next up is this cute and family-friendly cheerleading student game where you get to explore your school and meet up with your classmates. Okay, I might have lied a little. You actually play as Juliet, a violent zombie hunter, who takes on the task of exterminating every zombie that she finds at school, and that's using her chainsaw. This is a proper hack and slash game called Lollipop Chainsaw. Also, as this is a remaster, it looks like they've added some nice new features as well. There's going to be a RePOP mode where it would add a more colourful art style to the game, a streamer mode where you can swap the music out for your copyright safe uploads, and an online leaderboard. So yeah, if you're ready for another zombie hack and slash game, Lollipop Chainsaw RePOP is coming to PlayStation, Xbox and for the first time ever, PC on September 12th. And next up, we've got a remake of a game that I didn't realise we needed until I played it at Gamescom last week, and that's Disney's Epic Mickey Rebrushed. This originally released back in 2010 on the Nintendo Wii, and it's since been remade into this awesome looking 3D game, fittingly titled Rebrushed. It's a pretty vibrant 3D platformer game where you play as Mickey, as you go about solving puzzles, painting the floor to create paths and doors, and using paint thinner to remove walls and barricades. Now I'm not a huge Mickey fan, but after playing this for about 15 minutes, I can already tell this is going to be one of those games that the Disney and Mickey fans will definitely enjoy, but also for the kids and families. So Epic Mickey Rebrushed launches on September 24th, and it's not only coming to the Nintendo Switch, but to pretty much every platform including PlayStation, Xbox and PC. Also, there's a demo out for it now if you want to download and check it out. And for you football fans out there, we get the annual release of EA Sports FC at the end of the month. I don't really need to tell you what this game is about, but I can tell you that we're getting a few new features this year. First up, they've added a 5v5 rush, which is a fast-paced, small-sided mode that can be used in Ultimate Team, Clubs and Kickoff. There's also an overhaul of the tactical foundations across the entire game, making it a little bit more realistic. They've also added a new AI model which uses real-world data to influence the player tactics via player roles. On top of that, we've got all of the usual modes including career and clubs, and an interesting take on some of the player ratings as well. I'll end up picking this up at launch as it makes a great local multiplayer game with my mates. Plus I end up playing this with my son as well. So EA Sports FC 25 drops on September 27th, unless you go for Ultimate and you will get it a week early on September 20th. Now it's probably no surprise, but one of my favourite games on the PlayStation 5 is God of War Ragnarök. So I'm pleased to confirm it is finally coming to PC this month. It's been long awaited at nearly 2 years since its initial release, but if you've not played it yet, you are seriously in for a treat. So it follows on from the 2018 game God of War, as you play as both Kratos and his son Atreus journeying across each of the 9 realms. You come up against enemies, challenges and some pretty hard decisions, and it is without doubt one of the best story-driven games out there with an incredibly strong relationship between the father and son. It also looks absolutely stunning. And now that I finally have a gaming PC, I'll be able to see what it looks like at the 4K 60. It'll also support ultra-wide screens if you're using one of those as well. So God of War Ragnarök launches on PC on September 19th, and if you pre-order it before release, you can unlock some pre-order bonuses as well. Then on September 17th, we get Final Fantasy XVI again. It launched in 2023 on the PS5, but it is finally coming to PC this month. It's an action RPG within an original standalone story in the series, which means you don't need to have played the others first. Once again, you play as Clive on a journey of revenge, hope and sorrow, playing alongside loads of memorable characters and coming up against some pretty epic boss battles. So Final Fantasy XVI launches on September the 17th on PC. And then if all of those games aren't enough, we have 2 beta weekends for Call of Duty Black Ops 6 coming up. The first one is this weekend, so that's August the 30th until September the 4th, and that's if you've pre-ordered the game. And then it's open to everyone on September the 6th until September the 9th. I get hyped every single year for COD, so I will definitely be jumping on these beta weekends during September. So which games are you looking forward to in September, and are there any that I've missed? Now drop a nice September games in the comments and I'll give you a thumbs up for staying right till the end. And if you did enjoy today's video, check out my brand new gaming PC video next, as it covers my first ever PC on the channel. Well, thanks for watching, please like, subscribe and follow me everywhere. Until next time.